You are convinced that you are the one steering your life, that your decisions rise from your own will, that the hand on the wheel is yours. I spent my entire life discovering how mistaken you are. Look closely, even for a moment, and something unsettling appears. In so much of what you do, you are not driving at all. You are following a navigation system you never programmed, installed long before you arrived, running on machinery you have never seen. What you proudly call your conscious mind is only the lit screen on the dashboard. Beneath it runs software of staggering complexity, and beneath that, older hardware still. And here lies the danger. If you never learn how that system works, where it is trying to carry you, and how to override it when it steers you wrong, you will wander through your years and arrive somewhere. Somewhere dull, if you are fortunate. Somewhere ruinous, if you are not. My name is Carl Jung. I gave my life to mapping that hidden system from the inside. Let me show you what I found. I was born in 1875 in a small Swiss village to a poor country pastor and a mother who was, to put it gently, strange. She saw spirits. She seemed to carry two people inside her, one warm and ordinary by daylight, another dark and uncannily knowing after the sun went down. I was a solitary inward child. I built private worlds, prayed alone for hours, and watched the adults around me with a closeness that must have disturbed them, as though I were studying specimens rather than family. I hated school so completely that I taught myself to faint on command to escape it. That lasted until my father, frightened that I might amount to nothing, shamed me back to my senses. Something turned in me then. I began to read with real hunger. Philosophy, religion, anything that touched the deeper questions. I refused the family path into the church and chose medicine instead. And from medicine, I chose its strangest branch of all, psychiatry. The study of the very thing that had haunted me since childhood. As my name grew, I came to know the most celebrated and most scandalous mind of the age, Sigmund Freud. We met in 1907 and spoke without pause for 13 hours. 13. We became close. We traveled together, lectured together, took apart each other's dreams in the evenings. But he was older and far above me in standing, and so our bond became something like father and son. And sons, in time, must leave the father. We came to disagree on the foundations themselves. He saw the mind as a machine to be reduced to its parts. I could not look away from its mystery, its reaching toward something larger than appetite. In 1913, we broke. What followed nearly destroyed me. For roughly 5 years, I went down into a confrontation with my own unconscious, so violent that at times I feared I was losing my mind entirely. I wrote down my visions. I conducted experiments upon myself. I walked into the basement of my own psyche and refused to leave. And out of that descent, broken and slowly remade, came everything I would later teach. My breakdown was, in truth, a breakthrough. Because here is what I understood from the inside, the thing no lecture could have taught me. The aim of a human life is not success, not comfort, not even happiness as people picture it. It is wholeness. The slow, deliberate gathering of every scattered piece of yourself into one authentic person. I called the whole of you the psyche. Not only your thoughts, but your feelings, your behavior, your conscious mind, and your unconscious, together as a single thing. And most of it, understand this carefully, most of who you actually are lives beneath your awareness. Your real desires, your true capacities, the hidden reasons behind the things you cannot explain about yourself. They live in a country you have never visited and do not govern. A man's task, I wrote, is to become conscious of what presses upward from the dark. The single purpose of our existence is to kindle a light in the darkness of mere being. That work, the carrying of light downward, the making of the unconscious conscious, I named individuation. It is the labor of an entire lifetime, and it is the only labor that finally matters. So let me hand you the map. Picture three regions. At the surface lies consciousness, the part where you know yourself and say the word I. At its very center sits the ego, the small narrator that tells the story of who you are and keeps that story consistent from one day to the next. But the ego wears a face to the world. I called it the persona, the mask. It is the version of yourself you perform, the self you believe your role and your society demand of you. And the mask is rarely who you truly are. To hold it in place, the ego must quietly refuse enormous portions of your own experience. Whatever does not fit the performance, it represses. It pushes the unwanted material down, out of sight. And where does it all go? Into the unconscious. Here I made the division that set my work apart from every psychologist before me. The first layer, the personal unconscious, holds what your own life buried. Your private shames, your rejected impulses, the memories your ego would not own. Freud knew this territory well. But beneath it, I found something he never reached. The collective unconscious. A layer you did not invent and did not receive from your parents alone, but inherited from the entire span of human history. Consciousness, I wrote, was developed slowly and painfully across untold ages, and the work is far from finished. Vast regions of the mind remain wrapped in darkness. Consider how it forms. Each generation imitates the one before it, and that one the one before, in an unbroken chain stretching back to the first human beings. Along that chain, a reservoir gathers. Predispositions, ancient patterns, structures of the mind passed down to you as surely as the shape of your hands. I did not dream this up in a comfortable chair. I saw it. In the dreams of my patients, the same figures appeared again and again, people who had never met, sharing identical images. And when I turned to the myths and art of cultures separated by whole oceans and centuries, cultures that had never once touched, those same images were waiting there for me. The same symbols dreamed by strangers who could not possibly have passed them between one another. These deep, universal patterns I called the archetypes. They are the inherited foundations of your personality, shaping the way you think before you have thought a single thought of your own. Now, within this combined unconscious lives everything the ego has thrown out, everything you refuse to be. This is the shadow. Your faults, your hidden cruelties, your unlived potential, all of it pooled together in the dark. And nested deeper still is the part of you that belongs to the opposite of what you show the world. The suppressed feminine in a man, which I named the Anima. The suppressed masculine in a woman, the Animus. All of these forces move together, circling endlessly around a single center. The self. Not the ego, not the mask, the complete and authentic totality of you, conscious and unconscious, fused into one. The self is who you actually are, what you truly want, what you are genuinely able to do. And the whole aim of individuation comes down to this: to bring the ego, and as much of the mask as you can manage, close to that center. To make the self you show the world finally resemble the self you really are. If this map is beginning to light something up inside you, subscribe to this channel. The descent only goes deeper from here. But how is it actually done? Through whatever serves you. Therapy, reflection, the honest pursuit of your own truth. Yet all of it stands on one foundation, and the foundation is brutal. Self-realization demands radical self-acceptance. And radical self-acceptance demands radical self-honesty. Every time you examine a feeling, a thought, an action of your own, you arrive at a choice. You can accept what it truly reveals about you, even when it is ugly, even when it tells you plainly that you are not the person you hoped you were. Or you can look away. Each honest look is one step down a stairwell into the dark. And the further you go, the more you meet the things kept in the basement, the parts of yourself you fear and the parts you despise. Here, most people turn and run back up the stairs. Do not. Your shadow does not disappear when you stop looking at it. You cannot outrun the shadow your own body casts in the sunlight, and you cannot outrun this one either. There is no clever move that separates you from it. The only real danger is the denial itself. Good, I wrote, does not become better by being exaggerated. It becomes worse. And a small evil grows into a great one precisely by being ignored and repressed. The shadow is woven into human nature. It is only at night, when all is dark, that no shadows fall at all. Awareness is the whole of your power here. Know your own darkness, and you can recognize it when it creeps up the stairs uninvited. You must first know of a sickness to heal it. And to admit that you are ill is, in itself, the first act of the cure. I will not lie to you about how hard this is. To say accept yourself is simple. To actually do it may be the most difficult thing a human being can ever attempt. In the absolute sense, it is impossible. No one completes it. To truly accept your weaknesses, your capacity for cruelty, your shameful, unwanted desires, to admit that what you fear and hate in other people lives also in you. To confess that you are not and never will be all that you once hoped to become. To face directly what your mind has worked an entire lifetime to keep hidden from itself. This shakes the psyche down to its foundation. And yet it is, in exact proportion, the price of a complete life. The more of yourself you can bear to face, the more whole you become. So I leave you where I began, at the wheel. My work was never meant only to repair the faults in your hidden navigation system. It was meant to hand you the controls themselves, to bring you at last to the place where you can set your own destination and steer toward the life you genuinely can live and genuinely want to live. You have spent years as a passenger, carried wherever forces you never examined chose to take you. The only question that remains is whether you have the courage to go down into the dark and take the wheel. If you do, write 3 words below. I'll go down. I want to see who is truly ready to descend. And stay for the next video. We are only standing at the top of the stairs.